The only reason he survived was because the sound of a nearby boat distracted the bear. Even then, the man needed dozens of surgeries afterward. And here comes the horrifying truth: bears rarely kill quickly. In many attacks, they start eating their prey while it is still alive, especially grizzlies and large brown bears. That is why experienced hunters call a bear encounter one of the worst nightmares in the wild. Because against a full-grown bear, humans have almost no chance. Even firearms sometimes fail to stop them. There have been cases where bears kept attacking after taking multiple gunshots. Adrenaline and rage can turn them into unstoppable monsters. Now imagine a starving bear after winter. In spring, some bears become so desperate for food that they begin seeing humans as prey. That is when attacks become even more aggressive. But an even bigger danger is a mother bear protecting her cubs. If she senses any threat to her babies, the attack happens instantly. No warning, no mercy. One mountain guide described how his tourist group accidentally walked between a mother bear and her cubs. Everything happened within seconds. The bear stood on its hind legs, released a terrifying roar and charged. People scattered in panic. One man tripped and fell, and the bear slammed him across the back with a single paw strike. Doctors later said the impact felt similar to being hit by a speeding car, but perhaps the most frightening thing about bears is their intelligence. Bears are not mindless predators. They remember places, smells, and even human behavior. Some bears deliberately approach campsites at night because they know food is there. They quietly circle tents, sniffing the air, waiting for the perfect moment. Imagine lying inside a thin tent deep in the woods, while outside walks an animal powerful enough to rip through the fabric in 1 second. That is why experienced campers never keep food near where they sleep. A bear can smell food from kilometers away, but even that is not always enough. Sometimes bears attack simply because a human entered their territory. Large males are especially dangerous. Some become so confident in their power that they fear absolutely nothing. In Alaska, there have been cases where grizzlies walked directly into small towns. People lock themselves inside their homes while hearing the animals flip over garbage bins and smash wooden fences as if they were cardboard. And the most terrifying part? A bear can look calm just seconds before attacking. They do not always growl or show aggression first. Sometimes they simply explode forward without warning. That is why so many attacks happen unexpectedly. Now imagine walking alone through a dark forest at night. Everything is silent. Then suddenly you hear heavy breathing nearby. Not a dog, not a wolf, something enormous. And when you finally turn around, it is already too late. Survivors of bear attacks often say the same thing afterward. I realized humans mean nothing to that animal, because in that moment, nature reminds you who the real ruler of the wilderness truly is. And maybe that is why even other predators fear bears. Wolves avoid large males whenever possible. Lynxes disappear from their territory. Even tigers sometimes avoid direct fights with massive bears. Because a bear is pure brutal force, a living wall of muscle, claws and rage. And once that beast decides to attack, humans usually have almost no time left to survive. A bear is not just a giant animal living in the forest. It is a living destruction machine capable of turning a human into prey within seconds. And the most terrifying part is that many people still don't understand how dangerous a bear truly is. They watch cute videos online where bear cubs play like dogs. Tourists take selfies next to wild bears, and some people even try feeding them by hand. But in reality, one wrong move near a bear can become the last mistake of your life. Because once a bear decides to attack, stopping it is almost impossible. Imagine a creature weighing over half a ton, running faster than a horse, crushing bones with a single swipe of its paw, and powerful enough to tear apart a full-grown moose. And that is just an ordinary brown bear. Some people think they could outrun one. They can't. A bear can sprint at speeds up to 60 km per hour. Before you even realize what is happening, it is already on top of you. The scariest attacks are usually sudden. Most victims never even see the animal coming. The forest feels calm, birds are singing, and then suddenly a massive shadow explodes out of the bushes. In that instant, everything turns into chaos. Many survivors describe the exact same thing. The bear appeared almost silently. Then came screaming, blood, and a desperate fight to stay alive. One fisherman in Kamchatka walked toward a river to check his traps. He heard branches snapping nearby but assumed it was a deer. Seconds later, a huge bear charged directly at him. The man didn't even have time to grab his knife. One strike from the bear's paw threw him to the ground like a toy. The animal started ripping apart his backpack, tearing through his clothes and smashing him into the dirt.